I'm going to do a 30-second pre-roll. This is week 8. 30 seconds. I'm just going to start. Let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase. I work in Hollywood. What that means is I'm involved in the storytelling process. What most people consume, I'm involved in producing that. Up to this point, I've been telling other people's stories. Get hired to help tell other people's stories. I found a story that I want to tell, and this is the beginning of that process. This video. I've been practicing. I've been getting the setup right where I want it. And it's starting to work out kind of the way I like it, but I'm at the beginning of an important part of the process, and I've been delayed in progressing forward on it, and that has to stop. I've made very important progress, like at least 50% of what needs to be done. I got another 50%, so I stopped kind of halfway to prepare myself, because as soon as this other 50% is done, which I'm about to prepare to finish off. There are hands here. Alright. Saw something down there. There are other objects in here. Well, you've tuned into something. If you're interested in hearing about my project, this is the only place you're going to hear about it, because I'm concealing the important information as I work on it. I'm in what's called development hell. No. Development hell is actually where projects go to die. And this project is in development heaven, because all the indicators so far are that it is moving forward. Until such time as that changes, this is where you get to watch and hear something. It's part of an experiment I'm doing. I'm documenting. And teaching myself how to play with light. Because there's a number of things that I will be involved with in this project. It's pretty much about me. I mean, it's not about me. That would be the first thing that come out of my mouth. Well, this is extemporaneous. It's about what happened to me 2 years ago. It started this process, and you're watching the documentation of that. I have a story to tell. I'm going to try and tell it in just a few minutes. I've been practicing it, and here's another attempt. I think the story will get better. There are 5 elements to the story that I need to remember in a certain order. Start telling it. It's about a young man. Call him Iam. A young man. His name is Iam. I-A-M. Iam was from a broken home. It happened early, but he does remember the time when his parents were together. And then he was under his mother's care, and then his father's care, and then his mother's care and his father's care, and back and forth. And one time, he was with his father when he was 5 years old, and he was bitten by a dog. Father's friends had a dog that was unattended. He was 5 and reached out to the dog, and the dog bit him in the temple. And they washed the blood away, and it was just 3 stitches, but it was close. The beast had almost consumed the child's head. Or could have. But he was rescued just in time. That was a traumatic experience, but he doesn't remember it. He doesn't remember it. He just remembers reaching out to the dog, and then he remembers blood in his eyes and water washing it away. And it left an impression on him. Every time he saw a big dog, he was terrified. He was terrified. But good things started happening in his life. When he was 7, he saw a movie that changed his life. It was Star Wars. His imagination went wild. He forgot about the beast, I guess. But his imagination went wild. And he imagined himself as the characters in Star Wars, and he loved the story of justice. And he made a best friend when he was 9 who loved that same story, and they wrote their own story. They used their names and wrote fantasy stories about triumphing over evil, doing good, and hanging around with your friends and enjoying it. Just like the Marvel movies. They're just a bunch of really powerful individuals who get to hang out with each other and fight with each other and argue, but that was the real life. You know, we're all superhero kind of, that story we all believe. We're all important. And then he moved away from that friend when he was about 13. He encountered a beast in a dark, it wasn't a cave. He was on a walk at night in the mountains, alone, and came to where the trees grew thick over the road, or his passage, and there was just a pin of light at the other end. He had to walk through there, already knowing there was a beast in there. He knew there was a beast in there, but he had to get through this darkness to get home. He thought the beast would be in the distance, but it was close. It growled at him. He was 13. But he overcame. He called out to the owner. The owner was home. The light turned on. And called. The owner of the beast summoned it away. And he was allowed past. message to his home. A few years later, his teachers called upon him to write a story. And he thought about overcoming the beast, the fear of the beast. And he wrote it into a short story. And eventually he made it into a short film. But that's the end of the story. That's the story I'm going to try and keep telling. It comes out differently every time, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe one of these versions of the story will be one that gets passed around. How much darkness will you tolerate? How much darkness? How many minutes will I talk? What do I have to say about what I'm working on? I have to concentrate on it right now. I have to focus all of my energies on it. As soon as I'm done with this recording. So I better get to it. I got 50% left to complete. How long will it take me? I'm not sure. But I'm going to get really focused on it. I'm going to look into another world. I'm going to look a bit beyond the veil, you might say. Take a peek behind the curtain. Take a peek across the threshold. There's the threshold. Okay, that was a shorter segment. Thursdays. I guess I should explain how to communicate with me. This is the segment that you should forward. This is a experiment. If you are interested in signing up to help with the experiment, it's a real simple, like one instruction. I have some text that you would just paste into an email. It's a paragraph. Email me if you want to sign up for the experiment. It's simple. One thing you have to do. Paste a paragraph of text into an email and link this file, this video, to someone. Boom, that's the experiment, really. It's just to see if those words resonate with anyone, that paragraph. So, you email me. This is the first video you're receiving from me, from whoever, somebody you trust that said, watch this. Email me at heregoesnothing@talesoftruth.com. Just email me. I'm in on the experiment. Send me the paragraph and I'll forward this video. Boom. And it goes. It's just an experiment to see how connected people are to each other, really. And you're part of the experiment just by forwarding this link. There's other videos. I stumble over my words, but I'm experimenting with something. If you are interested in knowing more about a project I'm working on, I am working in Hollywood on a project, and there are people interested in what I'm working on. There are people waiting on me right now. Many. And when I'm done with the other 50% of this project, I am going to be handing it off, and people are going to be reading it. And then the project might just keep moving forward. So, this is an experiment. If you want to see inside something that's going on in Hollywood, as I am able to reveal details, I will right here. Period. That's the experiment. I think that was Thursday, so this is Friday. I'm pretty sure I broke it up this way. If not, we'll cut here, and then it'll be Thursday. Now, this is Friday, which I think it is. I'm just going to talk about one subject. I should be calling this St. Cloud 3. I'll be getting emails from a person who is testing this. He's testing this system, this experiment. I have one person that I'm setting it up with, and then we're going to start recruiting other people to be involved. That person will recruit someone. That person's first person I recruited, then that person will recruit someone. We'll see how this continues. If there's somebody else that will recruit others, see if a numerical growth is detectable. I think I'm going to turn off all views. I think I'm only going to monitor it, not let anybody else see how many views. Yep. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a drink right now. So, this is that's how I do it. Brilliant. All right. So, email number 3 from my co-conspirator in this experiment. I had to put down the water vessel and find a little shelf to put that on. But if you are watching this, which I know you are, my co-conspirator or my research partner, different ways you could phrase a relationship. In this third email, mentioned 2 words. If you start watching, you'll see that there are a couple places that I've named the files 2 words part 1, 2 words part 2. This is 2 words part 3 or 4. I don't know. Whatever name this video is, 2 words part 3, 2, whatever number we're on. My co-conspirator, guessed that the 2 words might be paradigm shift. And those are not the 2 words, but that's a good pair of words. I'd like to meditate on that concept. Paradigm shift. This might be ironic. If what I say is true, it could cause a paradigm shift if somebody listens to this and gets passed around. Paradigm shift. I propose the paradigm is constantly shifting. Yeah, the paradigm is in flux. The paradigm is constantly shifting, or it's everybody's own paradigm. We all have our own paradigm. And there's a paradigm shift in cultures, And I believe good paradigm shifts are on the horizon. So, paradigm shift. I said that actually. Ooh, that's something I can't reveal right now, but that phrase I said to one of the guys who's waiting on me. One of the guys who's waiting, the first guy that's going to see this thing, as soon as it's in good condition, I'm going to give it to him first. Interestingly, that pair of words right now pops into the discussion. It's so related to this whole thing. Somebody starts to tell him. I think it's going to unfold in an interesting way. Really, really interesting way. So here we go. Cutting to the chase. Paradigm shift as knowledge increases. Period. Paradigm shift as knowledge increases, and not everybody has all the same knowledge. And so, if correct knowledge, it becomes clearer and clearer. Right? If there is an objective truth, don't be confused. Didn't say I'm not talking about the other word people put in front of that about objective truth. There's a way to, with the advent of information technology, there's a way to more quickly expose more people to correct information. Correct. There are things happening and people doing things right now. You get focused on the moment where it's indisputable what's going on right now. Everybody is lying. There's so much lying going on, and there's so much honest misunderstanding. There's a lot of people that just believe things that they've been told, and they don't know how wrong the things they believe are. We all believe things that are wrong. We all do. It's like there are a few things right now that I'm wrong about. I'm right about. I believe I'm right about a bunch of stuff, and I know I'm also wrong about a bunch of stuff. And so I just have this intuition that once we see truth, we know it forever. Once you see truth, you know it forever. And truth reveals itself. It's not people just trying to figure stuff out, people being deceptive and dishonest about what they know, people hiding things. There's all kinds of people with motivations to tell you things that are not true. So each individual has to listen to the words that they say and say, well, why am I saying these things? Who's telling me to say these things? If you are speaking out, if you're even an employee, right? You're hired to be a face on a screen because you know how to talk. Somebody else is putting words in your mouth. Why are you saying those words? Why are you saying them? What are you committing to? You're saying it as if you're honestly portraying it. There are people that work in media that just say whatever's put in front of them, no matter what. And some people are writing stuff. There's people control. It's what's it called? Social engineering. Right? It's creating fear in people and then taking power from that fear. So I'm speaking straight to the issue right now. So I'm diving straight in. There's paradigm shifting, and my belief is what is in control of the shift is truth revealing itself. As technology advances, it's impossible to conceal truth. I love that epiphany right here on camera, right? That I am looking straight into the future. Right? I'm looking straight into the future. documenting what's going on this moment. Irrefutably, there's no confusion about what's going on right now. We're all able to look beyond the veil. There are people able to see you at all times. Paying attention to what's going on. If you are going to sign up, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Paradigm shift. Watch the future unfold. Like, get your eyes looking this way. If you know somebody that would be very interested in just watching this, it's time for this thing to happen. It's time for this thing to happen. Here we go. It's like we're going to cross the threshold. This is just a curtain. It's a curtain. Right on the other side, if you're in a dark room, black room, you watch this in the darkness, up close. You're just on the other side of that threshold. And I'm talking to you. We've figured out how to see each other, and we can all see each other at the same time. Technology is helping us to all see each other at exactly the same time, so you can see truth unfold. I'm just documenting something. If you're interested in what I'm talking about, that's cool. There are other people that tell you what's going on. I think it's the spontaneous, in the moment broadcasters that are reading the news and just doing their own thing online. Some people are being honest, and some people are just being told what to say, literally, or they have wrong beliefs or something. I'm just documenting what I'm going through. I'm not trying to propose much. I'm enjoying the process, but I think I better get to work. Yeah. This is the way. Now, if any of you are still watching this, this is another audience. Right? This is another audience. Some people will watch individual clips, and there are listeners that just want to hear the words coming out of my mouth, and they'll want to consume anything I've been saying, and so they already know, or they're finding stuff along the way. So there are different audiences. People will watch a couple things that think it's interesting, and then they'll lose interest, and they'll move on to something else more interesting. But some will come across this, and that will be supremely interesting to them. And then they'll watch a few pieces and then move away. But some people will watch everything and want to hear every word. And so this is another audience. This is a way to talk to more people. All right? You other listeners, I'm just recording what's coming out of my mouth. And this is episode 2. So it'll be interesting to go back and compare episode 1 to episode 2. I gotta get this done. I got work to do, so I'll keep it short. I'll try to keep it a round number. I don't know if I cut off right at the 0 in that last ending, so I'll just try it again. Maybe off a little bit.